Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to BlackDoorSociety presents Is Your Relationship Making You Sick or Rich? We have our special guest, McKinney Hammond, with us today. And I know that you know her, but I'm going to read her bio because we have royalty in the house,
Oh
okay?
my.
So let's get into it. Let me read her bio to you right now. Um, Miss McKinney is everything. And I think I first heard about you with your book Sassy, Satisfied, and Single.
Sassy Single Satisfied, yes.
Sassy, Single, Satisfied. Thank you. Thank you. And I was like, I need that in my life back when I was living my single life. And I was like, I need to learn how to become sassy because I sure didn't have it figured out. Okay. So Michelle McKinney Hammond has authored over 40 books, selling over 2 million copies worldwide, including best-selling titles The Diva Principle, Sassy, Single, and Satisfied, 101 Ways to Get and Keep His Attention, and Secrets of an Irresistible Woman. I need that now, even though I'm a married woman. I need that now. I still need to learn how to become irresistible. She's a gifted songwriter, vocalist. Michelle has recorded 4 solo CDs. It's amazing. Let's go in. Come let us worship with love. She is the former Emmy Award winning co-host of the television talk show Aspiring Women for 10 years and TCT's 3D Woman for 8 seasons. Michelle McKinney Hammond has most recently appeared in Roma Downey and Mark Burnett's productions of Women of the Bible on Lifetime and AD, The Bible Continues. She presently does inspirational truth, but fair segments on their new network, lightworkers.com and Light TV. Not only that, Michelle has appeared on countless other radio and television shows, including Bill Maher's Political Correct, Incorrect, NBC's The Other Half, CBN The 700 Club, Daystar, Huntley Street, TVN, BET's Old Drama, The Michael Basin Show, as well as been featured as a regular relationship segment host on Chicago's WGN Morning News and Fox's Fox and Friends. She has graced the cover of magazines such as Today's Christian Woman, Precious Times, The Plain Truth and Gospel Today. She has been featured in articles in Essence, Ebony, Jet, Black Enterprise Magazine, the Chicago Tribune, the Associated Press, and the New York Times. Adding actress and producer to her long list of credits, Michelle has appeared in several African movies: Bloodline, Single and Married, If Tomorrow Never Comes, Love Regardless, Poison Bait, and starred in Candle in the Wind. She recently penned, produced, and starred in her first screenplay, First Love. Michelle presently resides in Ghana, West Africa, traveling the globe from her home base. She is happily single with siblings and extended family in America, as well as Ghana. She is the joyous mommy of 2 Shih Tzus, Matisse and Layla. She has precious memories of Milan and Micah. She is the president of US based Michelle McKinney Hammond Ministries and Diva Core LLC. She is the visionary and leader of Relevance, a music ministry in Ghana, West Africa, a movement back to the heart of God, which focuses on moving the church beyond the walls by taking worship to the streets through their own special brand of original music called Rock Inspiration, a fusion of rock, reggae, jazz, and African percussion. They have released 3 CDs: Forever, The Greatest Gift, and For Love's Sakes. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Michelle McKinney Hammond.
Thank
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
you.
We are so happy to have you today. You've done so much, but we're excited about this topic of, is your relationship making you rich or sick? So,
Good
can you,
question.
I know, great question. So I wanted to say this. I see we have a couple of viewers watching. If you have any questions for Miss McKinney, put them in the chat and I'll be sure to read them off so we can get them answered for you. So let's get into it. Can you give an example of how a relationship can make you rich, other than just wealth? But how can a relationship make you rich?
Well, I always say it is from wealth. Are you hearing an echo?
No, I hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I always separate riches from wealth because I believe that riches are the things that come and go in life, the acquisition of much that can dissipate at any point in time. But wealth is a life well lived. So your relationships are wealthy, your experiences are wealthy, your memories are wealthy, your spirit is wealthy. And that's the wealth that can't be taken away from you. My coach always says your net worth is your net worth.
Mhm.
So it is important that we choose the right people to walk with or and partner with in our lives. We see it time and time again that bad company corrupts good manners. It's just as simple as that. I always ask people when we're talking about connections. Have you ever noticed that all rich people hang out with rich people, and what do they do together? They get richer because they're
Mhm.
exchanging ideas and promoting each other and relationships are everything. And I think that if you think you can get through this life in isolation, it's a fallacy, because who you walk with will determine how far you walk.
Mm. I love that. That's a tweetable moment, guys. Did you get that? Who you walk with will determine how far you walk. That is absolutely truth. I mean, I do believe in the idea about being around like-minded people,
Mhm.
and especially when you emerge in your life in a relationship or in marriage or in, a companionship. You definitely need someone who is willing to help you grow,
Mhm.
who is willing to help you reach that next level, and not someone who is just along for the ride and not
Right.
willing to contribute to your
Mhm.
relationship. So
Or holding you back because of their own insecurities and lack of vision.
absolutely, absolutely. We have a lot of people in the chat saying yes and hand claps. I don't know if you can see the chat. um, Hand claps. And this is so exciting. How many of your oh, there's a question. How many of your books? Oh, the question was cut off. Oh, she says, I have many of your books. I
Mhm.
have many of your books. So my next question, Michelle, is what are those toxic behaviors in relationships that are often overlooked?
I would say the biggest one is lack of communication, because what that does is it leaves room for assumption, and we usually assume wrong.
Mhm.
So that's huge. Lack of transparency and authenticity, putting on one face, but life is doing something else completely different in your life. And therefore, you don't get the help you need because you're not being authentically yourself or sharing transparently what you need help with, or even the good things that are happening. So I would say that those are very toxic, as well as not knowing how to communicate when you communicate. It's
Mhm.
not so much what we say, but how we say it and when we say it that creates issues sometimes. So timing has to be right. The atmosphere has to be set for difficult conversations. And when we are in a place of pain or hurt or fear, uh, I always say count to 10 before you have that discussion, because in that state, you'll definitely make the wrong choices and say the wrong things. So operate from a place of emotional evenness. Sometimes we need to wait before we speak and really assess, what is it that I want? What do I want to get out of the discussion? This should not just be a vent fest that has no vision or purpose, but what do you want to accomplish in the conversation? Because sometimes when we stand on principle, we end up standing alone. So, do we want reconciliation, or do we just want to prove that we're right in the situation? What do I want from that person? What do I need to do or say to get that in a healthy way? I think that when we don't talk about out of our emotions, and we actually have strategies in place in our mind about what we want to accomplish, and what that's going to look like, we have a better conversation with someone that gets us what we want. And also making sure that we're empowering that other person to do the right thing by us as opposed to demanding.
Ooh, that's another tweetable moment. Guys, did you hear that? We are empowering people to do right by us instead of demanding. Oftentimes we go into these relationships like this is how it is, and you either like it or you can get the step. And that gets you nowhere because people have autonomous choice.
Mm-hmm.
People have a choice, and they don't have to deal with you if they don't want to. And I think sometimes we forget that because we think that people come into our lives and maybe we feel like we have a lot to offer, and people can take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
People don't care about your degrees, they don't care about your business, they don't care about any of that. They don't care about your house, your home, if they're going to be mistreated, if they feel like you are suffocating them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes we get into this idea that take me as I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I always caution my clients, like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have your own personal growth. To
Mm-hmm.
expect someone to just take your flaws and you don't do anything to try to change your flaws
Mm-hmm.
is it's abuse to your relationship. It's abuse to you, and it's abuse to your partner. And it is unfair for you to sit around and say, well, this is how I am, take it or leave it. So thank you for that point
Yeah,
in saying that.
puts the other person on the defense. And once they feel they're defending themselves, they stop listening or hearing anything you say, because there is a difference between hearing and listening.
Yes.
In Ghana, we say mati, which means I hear you, but that doesn't mean anything will be done. So there's a difference between listening and hearing. And so we don't want people to defend themselves. We want them to be open to hear what we have to say, to see our reality and actually empathize with us, to the point where they say, "What can I do?"
Yeah.
That's the ultimate direction of the relationship and the conversation.
And I often like to remind people that there are three parts to effectively communicating. And that first one is actively listening, not trying to defend yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
really hearing what the person is saying. The
Mm-hmm.
second one is understanding and empathizing, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third part is responding to the need.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
many people think that they're communicating just because they're talking, which is not true at all.
Right.
Because if you're not responding to the need, you still have unresolved conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So when people find themselves struggling and arguing about the same thing, it's because you can't get past one. You can't get past actively listening and trying to
Right.
understand their perspective. And so I thank you for saying that. I want to get into your spiritual journey. What led to your spiritual journey?
Hmm. Well, I was raised Episcopalian,
Mhm.
Anglican. And so church was a habit. Actually, it was social and it was a habit, and it was fine for the hour that you were there. But I moved to Chicago, went to college, went through a lot of turmoil in relationships. Um, Actually, ended up having a great relationship, but it was cut short by that person's death, and that sent me reeling and wondering, where is God? What happens really when you die? I don't know why, after all my years in church, I didn't have that figured out, but I didn't. And I was just in not a good emotional space, suicidal, just wanting to end it all, not feeling great. The late great Planet Earth came out around that time, and I thought perhaps my questions could be answered if I read his book, because I didn't. I was actually in the middle of trying to get a job, my first big job out of school, and I was working freelance for the company, so I didn't have a chance to go to the movies, but I didn't sleep at night, so I read this book, and it got to the part about, do you know him? And I was like, I don't think so. So I said, put down the book and ask him to come into your life. I said, okay, you know. So
Mhm.
that is, no altar call for me. It was right there in black and white on the pages. I responded to it. And as you know how God is, he orders your footsteps. So I got on the bus, I think 2 days later, and there was this woman sitting there reading the Bible. So I just started asking her questions. She took my number, invited me to church, and the rest is history. So I had rather a dramatic conversion, and
Mhm.
I was John the Baptist man. I just preached to all my friends, told them they were going to hell, they need to get saved,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
dragged
Mhm.
everybody to church. It was pretty funny at the time, but my mother was a little concerned. She thought I had joined a cult. She just thought I was crazy. But in the end, she herself got saved and saw the
Mm.
wisdom of my choices.
Mhm. 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 Sometimes you can't explain it, but when God shows up in you, there's no
Yes,
denying that He's there. There's
exactly.
there's no denying that He is guiding your life and that He is leading your life. There is no denying that at
Yeah.
all.
So 43 years later, now I sound like an old church lady. Uh, we're still walking it out together.
Absolutely, absolutely. What inspired you to become a novelist?
Well, I've written two novels, but the rest of my books are all actually self-help.
Okay.
Um, so I was really struggling with the whole singles thing in Christ, how you navigate that. And I was talking with my mentor, Bunny Wilson, after I got some things figured out. And she said, nobody's writing about that. You should write about that.
Mm.
I said, oh, Bunny, I can't write. I'm in advertising. 30 seconds is all I've got. She said, girl, as much as you like to run your mouth, a book is just a long conversation. Write the book. That
Wait, that's a
was,
great way to look at it.
yeah, it is.
For all
It
of
is.
our aspiring authors out there.
Exactly. And so I've said all my other books are like, and another thing, and another thing. Oh, this, I didn't get to say this in the last book, so I'm saying it in this one. So I ended up writing What to Do Until Love Finds You. It sold out of its first printing in 3 weeks, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Pam. Our lovely Pam Perry just put
Thank you,
your
Pam.
website into the
He's
chat.
on it.
So
He is the
oh,
PR on it lady.
she's always on it. Always on it.
Oh,
She wants to know, could you tell us about the Love You Masterclass?
yes, I'm so excited about this class. You won't believe it. I just feel that it's necessary because no one educates us about love. And a lot of us don't have the greatest models of what love should look like. And there is a design for love. There are protocols in love that make it work. So I put together a class called the Love You Master Class, and it starts again. The semester starts again in February, so people can sign up now, for it and be ready to go. If you can't take the whole class, you'll be able to subscribe to Love Capsules, which you'll get in your email 3 times a week and on a subscription basis. So I'm really, really excited about the course. It covers everything from who you are to what you should be looking for to how to recognize it and what to do after you find it. So it's an A to Z masterclass. And we deal with you from the inside out. So the first module doesn't even have anything to do with relationships. It's all about you, because I realize that a lot of people are not in the right mindset even for having a relationship, and they're using it as a compensatory tool in their lives when they need to be able to be healthy, strong, and bring things to the table in the love arena themselves. So what do you bring to the party of love? Don't just be want love, be lovable. Don't just be
Yeah.
interested, be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Pamela says the power of femininity was life-changing for her.
Oh, yes, a lot of women really resonated with that book. I just re-released it actually. They can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
Um, it is a book that really, I find it an empowering book because I think that we get a lot of mixed signals. And of course, we've got a great big empowerment movement that I think is a good concept, but sometimes goes in the wrong direction. And so it's very important for us to know why we're as powerful as we are and how to use that power in ways that affect not just our homes, but society to the good overall.
So I have another question, another burning question.
Okay.
What are the 10 mistakes single women make?
That's a long conversation. That's an hour. But I'll just
Well,
say that
give us three. Give us the
well,
top
the
three.
biggest one is idolizing marriage as the end all be all answer to all of your woes. And I always tell women, you're in for the shock of your life if that's your mindset, because marriage is going to press some things out of you that you haven't dealt with. So now that while you're single, you need to be embracing the time to become the fullness of who you were created to be, so that you're strong and you know your value, so that you make the right choices when it comes to love. So I would say that that's a big one. Putting life on hold until you get married is also a big one, because now is the time to take advantage of your free time, space, money, and all the the things that you have at your disposal to build the life you want, it also sets a standard for the man coming into your life and
Mhm.
gives him a look at what you expect that he's got to keep up with, and that's not that's a standard. That's not an expectation. There are, two different things going on there. So third one, being short-sighted about life, have long-term vision, know where you want to go, be working towards that life, have something to bring to the party. Don't think that this man's going to come and rescue you. If that's your mindset, you'll probably need to be rescued from the one who's rescuing you. So
No, that is so true because
yeah.
marriage will not rescue you if you have not done the internal work, which is why I know your Love You Masterclass is going to be amazing because you
Yes,
are absolutely right. We do not know how to treat ourselves. And so once we get in these relationships, we don't know what we want
that's right.
because we don't know how to treat ourselves. We don't know how to
Mhm.
love ourselves. And so unfortunately, we get into this place of thinking if he goes to church, if he smells good, if he likes his mama,
That's
then he's a
true.
good person. And we get caught up on some of those crazy things. You know,
Hmm.
I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday and she was like, I don't need a good man. I need a godly man.
Yes,
She was like, because a
because a
good
godly
man,
man is a good man.
yeah, she's
Exactly.
like, a good man, his behavior can change situationally, but a
Yes,
godly man is going to always go to God to get his answer. And
right.
that's the man that I need in my life. And I was like, girl, that is a tweetable moment right there.
Yes, yes,
That was a
yes.
tweetable moment. I was like, absolutely. I mean, we here get this good man, but what do we know about characteristics? They could
Hmm.
change situationally.
Right.
So a
Yeah,
person may,
yeah. I think that a lot of women too, they're just looking for a man. They haven't decided. They don't have a clear vision of what aligns with them. They don't know
yeah,
their own values and their
yeah,
value. So then
yeah.
they make choices out of their void versus their value. And when we do that, we settle for anything, you know.
Did
Um,
y'all just hear that nugget? Did y'all just hear what she said? We make choices out of our void and not our value.
mhm.
That is a nugget because when we feel, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure that they captured
Mhm.
that. Because when
Yeah.
we feel like we're worthless, we will accept anything.
Mhm. That's
And
true.
it's heartbreaking, but
Mhm.
again, that's why your Love You Masterclass is going to be amazing. Ladies, go sign up for her
Mhm.
Love You Masterclass on her website.
Yeah.
Make sure
And
you do that.
I think that, like value and value are two different things. Your value is important to know, and a lot of people are not in touch with that, but they also not in touch of what they really value. What are your values? What are important to you in the scheme of life? Is financial security a value for you? Is sound spirituality a value for you? Is family a value for you? What do you value? So that when this person starts talking to you, you can see if they're where you are. Otherwise, how can two walk together except they be in agreement? So if you value being a missionary in Papua New Guinea ministering to naked natives, and he values being a rock star in LA, that's not going to work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's so important what you said in terms of value of financial security is important because women are so afraid to be
Mhm.
looked at as a gold digger
Yeah.
that they're too afraid to say, no, I want someone who I know can provide for us.
Hmm.
And what is your advice for those women who are afraid to say those things?
Well, I think that when you say that, you have to be what you want to attract. I think we run into problems if you're not doing anything and you just want somebody to come into your life who has a lot of money. Guess what? That person's not going to be attracted to you
Yeah,
because men are transactional. They want to know what's being added to their life as well. So you got
absolutely.
to be a plus to them. You can't be a minus. So if you're coming with bills and you don't have any money yourself, that's not going to be attractive to him.
Yeah,
He's going to be looking for someone that's on his level playing field when it comes to that, or at least you show that you know how to handle money well, and it's not about a bag and a purse for you.
yeah,
So That is what I would advise. Be what you want to attract. Like the woman who wants a six pack, but she's overweight. I mean, why is it going to find you attractive?
Right, right. Pam says we got to start wanting them to look like Idris or Denzel. We
Yes,
have to want more
you have to want more. Yes, most
in a
definitely. And
relationship.
let's just remember that looks fade. So the character of the man is critically important. And guess
Absolutely.
what? You know what? A good man can become fine to you because love is the best makeover you can give anyone. I mean, when you get to the place, and I call that a place of great maturity, when character is more attractive than the externals.
Yeah.
Um, you end up having someone that is good to you, good for you, and they're easy on your eyes as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you, I like to tell people that attractability has a lot to do with your self-image and your character.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you have an appropriate self-image, appropriate character, you will be attractive. You don't have to go and get all these enhancements that people are getting to
Right.
try to attract people to you. Just show up as your authentic self. And if there are deficits in that area, then those are the things that you need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
That determines your attractability factor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Priscilla says, I love that. Be what you want to attract. Love is the best makeover you can give anyone. Absolutely. Pamela says, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, Pam said her husband Mark just came in and said, need an example.
I love that.
So much, so much, so much, so much. I think, Michelle, I thank you for giving us your time. I know that it was very limited today because you have so much going on. But how can people get in touch with you? How can they reach you if they want to join your masterclass?
Mhm.
How
They
can they
can
be
go
a
to,
part of your tribe, your community?
yes, if they go to my website, michellehammond.com, everything is there. They can go into, there's a button at the top that says MMH Academy. They can find classes and resources there. As soon as they come onto the website, there's a pop up for the master class, as well as Come Home with Michelle Tours to Ghana. There's, MMH Hangout is something that happens the first Saturday of every month. It's a Zoom call that connects men and women from all over the world, and we discuss different things. So there's a lot going on. Go to michellehammond.com, sign up on the mailing list so that you can get a note every now and then or a newsletter telling you what's going on and what you can be a part of.
And they can purchase your books from your website as well,
Yes, or on Amazon.
or on Amazon.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. And I want to make sure that all of our guests are following you. So I think I have your let's see.
IG and Twitter is at McKinney Hammond, and Facebook and YouTube are Michelle McKinney Hammond. And I do invite everyone to like, subscribe, and share my YouTube page. Lots of resources there for you.
So as you can see at the bottom, you have Michelle's website. You also have her handles for Instagram and Twitter, as well as Black Door Society, as well as myself. So you can follow all of us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Michelle, thank you so much for this engaging conversation. So happy
Thank
to have you
you.
here with us. And great luck with all and everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
You're an absolute joy and an inspiration. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I've got exciting news coming up in about a month. I'll
Okay.
be launching a channel on One God TV network
Oh,
beginning in November. So I'll be sending out an announcement about that.
nice. So everybody that's on here, go over there so you can get on her email list so that you can ensure that you get those announcements so
Mhm.
that you're not missing out on the great news. Thank you so much. I want to make sure I got all questions. I don't see any more here. Oh, someone says your love capsule. That's cute. That is a cute idea.
Thank you.
Very cute.
3 times a
Um,
month.
yeah. Someone said their favorite book, If Singleness is a Gift, What's the Return Policy?
Oh, yes. I think a lot of people ask that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Winona does say, make sure you are doing your part. Priscilla says, I love that. Be what you want to attract. Pam says love is the best makeover you can give anyone.
That's right.
Joy says character is more attractive. Absolutely, absolutely. Dee says show up as your authentic self. Pam says thank you again. Thank you so much.
You are
On behalf
welcome.
of Black Door Society, we really thank you for being here with us today and sharing in this special segment with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day. I know you have another meeting you have to run to, so thank
Yes,
you.
yes. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.